A critical no call here that did not go the Knicks' way.
Now, referees are taught to look up high, then down low. That right there is a landing zone foul that most of the time when it's reviewed, and it puts a player at risk. That would be his next flagrant foul.
What you're about to see is one of the most controversial, explosive, and talked about NBA Finals endings in recent memory, and trust me, this story goes way beyond who won the championship. Because when the final buzzer sounded in San Antonio, the real chaos was only beginning. We're talking about a missed call that immediately ignited outrage across the basketball world. A championship celebration overshadowed by controversy. A handshake line that never happened. And a post-game moment that had fans, analysts, and former players arguing all over the internet within minutes. Jaylen Brunson didn't just leave Frost Bank Center with a championship ring and Finals MVP trophy. He walked out looking like the man who broke the Spurs, silenced the crowd, and exposed serious questions about Victor Wembanyama when the pressure reached its absolute peak. And here's the part nobody can ignore. Everyone saw it happen. Very few are willing to say it out loud. Because this final series revealed a side of Wembanyama that nobody expected to see. When the intensity cranked up, when every possession mattered, when the championship was on the line, the spotlight wasn't just on his talent anymore. It was on how he responded. For 5 games, Wembanyama made life miserable for Brunson with relentless physical defense. Constant contact. Hard bumps. Elbows. Body shots. Every inch of the floor felt like a fight. And time after time, officials let it go. Fans watched questionable non-calls pile up while frustration continued to grow. But then came the moment that changed everything. The Knicks completed another comeback. The clock hit 0. New York secured its first championship since 1973. And instead of staying for the sportsmanship, instead of congratulating the new champions, Wembanyama turned around and walked straight off the floor. No handshake. No acknowledgement. No respect paid to the team that had just beaten him. Not a single hand shaken. And somehow, that wasn't even the biggest headline. Because just moments later, during his final press conference of the season, Wembanyama delivered 5 words that instantly sent social media into a frenzy. Appreciate y'all. See y'all never. 5 words. That's all it took. Within minutes, the internet exploded with reactions, debates, theories, and criticism from every direction. So today, we're breaking down everything. Brunson's legendary finals performance. The physical battle that pushed the limits. The controversial officiating decisions. The post-game exit that shocked fans. And the quote that may have revealed far more about Wembanyama's mindset than he ever intended. Because the deeper you dig into this story, the crazier it gets. And to understand why this championship ended with so much drama, you first have to understand what Jalen Brunson was doing to the Spurs all series long. Because this wasn't luck. This wasn't a collapse. This was one player grabbing control of the NBA Finals and refusing to let go.
I learned one of many things I learned is the margin of error is very, very thin. Our domination stints are absolute. We absolutely dominated for most of the series, but our errors, our mistakes are punished so hard that we can't have ups and downs like this so much, you know.
He gave credit to the Knicks. He called them a veteran team. He admitted they knew how to execute when the pressure was highest. Everything he was saying sounded professional, respectful, measured. Exactly what you'd expect from a franchise superstar after a crushing finals loss. At that point, it looked like Wembanyama was handling the moment perfectly. The questions kept coming. The answers stayed calm. The tension in the room seemed to be fading. Then one reporter brought up something that completely changed the direction of the conversation. History. Not just Spurs history. NBA history. The reporter reminded everyone that even the greatest players ever had to wait before reaching the top. Michael Jordan didn't win his first championship until his 7th season. LeBron James had to wait until his 9th. Both of them spent years hearing the same criticism. Can't win the big one. Can't finish the job. Can't lead a team to a title. Those narratives followed them everywhere before they eventually silenced the doubters forever. The question seemed simple. Was Wembanyama viewing this loss the same way? As part of a longer journey toward greatness? A stepping stone rather than a failure? And honestly, it looked like the perfect opportunity for a safe answer. Most stars would have smiled. Maybe mentioned patience. Maybe talked about trusting the process. Maybe said their time would come. Instead, Wembanyama responded in a way that instantly grabbed everyone's attention. The room got quieter. Reporters leaned forward. Fans watching online immediately started clipping the moment. Because what happened next didn't sound like a player thinking about the future. It sounded like someone who was still carrying the frustration of everything that had happened over the previous 5 games. The physical battles. The missed opportunities. The championship slipping away on his home floor. You could almost feel the disappointment sitting there with him. And then, just when it seemed like the press conference was winding down, Wembanyama delivered the moment that would completely overshadow everything else he said that night. 5 words. Just 5. But those 5 words would spread across social media faster than any highlight from the game itself. 5 words that instantly sparked debates. 5 words that had fans wondering what he really meant. 5 words that turned a painful finals loss into an even bigger story. Appreciate y'all. A brief pause. Then came the line that set the basketball world on fire. See y'all never.
You understand the history of it. It took Michael 7 years. It took LeBron 9. It took Jerry West 12 years to be a champion. Not even the greatest ever. It's not immediate.
Wembanyama's response immediately caught people's attention. Because instead of embracing the comparison, he pushed back on it. He said he didn't believe the situation was the same. And just like that, a completely new debate started. What exactly did he mean? Was it confidence? Did he believe his path was different from the legends before him? Did he think he was ahead of where Jordan and LeBron were at the same stage? Or was it simply frustration talking after the toughest loss of his career? The answer depends on who you ask. Some fans heard confidence. Others heard arrogance. And that's when the entire conversation shifted. Because the basketball world wasn't just discussing a finals loss anymore. Now people were dissecting every word coming out of Wembanyama's mouth. Every answer. Every reaction. Every expression. Then came the moment that completely took over the internet. The moment that turned a controversial night into a viral story. The moment that generated headlines almost instantly. The press conference was ending. Wembanyama had answered the questions. The season was officially over. He pushed his chair back. Stood up. Started gathering his things. And for a brief second, it looked like the night was finally winding down. Then he looked toward the media. The same reporters who had spent weeks covering the Spurs' finals run. The same reporters who had just spent the last several minutes asking him about the loss. And he delivered one final message. Appreciate y'all. A normal goodbye. Nothing unusual. Nothing controversial. But then he added 5 more words. 5 words that changed everything. See y'all never. Just like that. The room reacted instantly. Social media reacted even faster. Within minutes, clips of the moment were everywhere. Fans started replaying it. Analysts started debating it. Former players started weighing in. And nobody seemed to agree on what he actually meant. Some people believed it was nothing more than a joke. A frustrated player trying to lighten the mood after a heartbreaking defeat. Others weren't buying that explanation at all. They saw it as another example of the frustration that had been building throughout the series. The physical battles. The controversial officiating. The walk-off after the final buzzer. The skipped handshake line. And now this. When you put all of those moments together, suddenly people weren't looking at one isolated comment anymore. They were looking at a pattern. And whether that's fair or unfair, that's exactly why those 5 words exploded across the basketball world. Because in a finals already packed with controversy, drama, and non-stop tension, Wembanyama had just given everyone one more thing to talk about.
Appreciate y'all. See y'all never.
For a moment, the room just froze. Nobody really knew how to react. Then the clip hit social media. And within minutes, it was everywhere. Fans were reposting it. Analysts were debating it. Entire basketball shows were suddenly leading with 5 words instead of the finals itself. Appreciate y'all. See y'all never. Now to be fair, there are multiple ways to interpret that comment. Some people saw it as nothing more than dark humor. A frustrated competitor processing a devastating loss. A player basically saying, the next time I reach this stage, I won't be walking away empty-handed. And honestly, that's a completely reasonable interpretation. But here's why the quote became such a massive story. It didn't exist by itself. It came after the walk-off. It came after the skipped handshake line. It came after the Game 3 shove. It came after the laugh in Brunson's face. It came after the controversial landing space incident that never got called. One moment by itself isn't a pattern. But when people started stacking all of those moments together, the conversation changed. Suddenly, fans weren't discussing a single comment anymore. They were discussing what that comment represented. And whether you agree with that conclusion or not, that's exactly why the internet exploded. Because what people saw wasn't just a superstar losing. They saw a superstar learning. Learning what the finals really feels like. Learning what happens when every mistake is magnified. Learning what happens when every reaction gets dissected by millions of people. The talent has never been the question. Nobody doubts that. The question is how those pressure-filled moments get handled when the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest. And right now, that part of Wembanyama's story is still being written. Because, "see y'all never," is one of those quotes that sticks with people. On one side, it sounds petty. Almost like something you'd hear after a heated pickup game. Not from a player many believe could become the future face of the NBA. But on the other side? Maybe it's something entirely different. Maybe it's a warning. Maybe it's a promise. Maybe it's Wembanyama telling the basketball world that he never plans on feeling this pain again. And if that's truly what's driving him right now, the rest of the league should pay attention. Because a generational talent carrying a finals loss on his shoulders is a dangerous thing. History has shown that some of the greatest players ever were built by heartbreak. And this could end up being the moment that fuels the next chapter of his career. But while everyone was focused on Wembanyama's reaction, Jalen Brunson was quietly giving the exact opposite example. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. When Wembanyama shoved him in Game 3 and laughed in his face, Brunson didn't retaliate. He didn't create headlines. He didn't turn it into a public feud. He simply kept playing. Then he went out and dropped 32 points. Afterward, when reporters asked about it, his response was simple. "Whatever you saw is what you saw. That's it. No drama. No complaints. No attention-seeking. Just basketball." Then came Game 5. The missed landing space call. The twisted ankle. The no-whistle moment that had fans furious. A lot of players would have spent the next possession arguing. Brunson didn't. He hit the shot. Got back on defense. Stayed locked in. And when the championship was hanging in the balance, he delivered again. The go-ahead floater. The dagger. The shot that effectively ended the series. That's the difference. Brunson never allowed the chaos around him to become bigger than the game itself. And that's why this championship means so much. Not because he won. Because of how he won. Through contact. Through adversity. Through missed calls. Through pressure. Through every challenge the Spurs threw at him. He just kept answering. Again. And again. And again. For years, there were people who questioned whether he could be the #1 option on a championship team. Too small. Not explosive enough. Not dominant enough. Not built for the biggest stage. This finals erased all of that. Completely. 45 points in the closeout game. A finals MVP. A championship. And one of the most memorable playoff runs New York has seen in generations. The debate is over. Jalen Brunson proved it. And now, his name is permanently written into Knicks history. Think about that for a second. More than 50 years. Entire generations of fans lived and died with this franchise without ever seeing a championship celebration. Now they finally have one. And when that banner goes up inside Madison Square Garden, nobody is going to remember the doubts. They're going to remember who delivered. They're going to remember who carried them there. They're going to remember Jalen Brunson. As for Wembanyama and the Spurs, this story is far from over. Not even close. The talent is still there. The foundation is still there. The future is still there. The Spurs have too much young firepower to disappear after one loss. And Wembanyama himself said this was the biggest lesson of his life. Maybe that's the real takeaway from all of this. One superstar reached the mountaintop. Another superstar got a painful reminder of what it takes to get there. And if history has taught us anything, it's that the players who respond the right way to moments like this usually come back stronger than ever. The question now is simple. How will Victor Wembanyama respond? Because after everything that happened in these finals, the basketball world is going to be watching every step.
Biggest lesson of my life, the biggest learning moment. I can't tell exactly what the lesson is, but we're learning from that for sure. I'm learning more than any other time in my life before.
And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from this entire finals. Not the controversy. Not the missed calls. Not even the viral press conference moment. It's what these finals revealed about two very different stars. On one side was Victor Wembanyama, a generational talent. A player with the size, skill, and potential to eventually become the face of the league. Even in defeat, he put up incredible numbers and showed exactly why so many people believe he's the future of basketball. But talent alone isn't what defines championship players. The biggest moments test everything. Your composure. Your leadership. Your response to adversity. And this series showed that Wembanyama is still learning those lessons in real time. That's not an insult. That's part of the journey. Michael Jordan went through it. LeBron James went through it. Every all-time great has faced moments that forced them to grow. The question now is whether this finals loss becomes a setback, or the fuel that launches him to another level. Then on the other side was Jalen Brunson. No drama. No excuses. No distractions. Just results. When things got physical, he kept playing. When the calls didn't come, he kept attacking. When the pressure reached its peak, he delivered his best basketball. And when the final buzzer sounded, he was the one holding the trophy. That's what championship basketball is all about. Not just talent. Not just highlights. Not just potential. Execution. Composure. Winning when everything is on the line. And that's exactly what Brunson did. He didn't just win a championship. He cemented his legacy forever. The Knicks waited more than 5 decades for this moment. Generations of fans dreamed about it. And now, thanks to Brunson, it's finally reality. The drought is over. New York is back on top. And one of the most emotional championship stories in NBA history has finally reached its ending. Or maybe, its beginning. Because while Brunson is celebrating a title, Wembanyama is heading into the offseason with something even more dangerous. Motivation. And if this loss becomes the spark that pushes him to another level, the rest of the NBA might have a serious problem on its hands. But that's a story for another day. For now, this moment belongs to New York. This moment belongs to Jalen Brunson. And this moment belongs to every Knicks fan who waited decades to see their team reach the top again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Hoop Dose, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest NBA stories, controversies, trade rumors, playoff drama, and championship breakdowns. And now I want to hear from you. Did Wembanyama's actions get blown out of proportion? Or do you think the criticism is completely justified? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this debate is far from over. Thanks for watching Hoop Dose. And I'll see you in the next one.